It's time to focus on another history video, y'all. That's right, a TV one. That's right. But this one, we're gonna be celebrating. We're gonna be celebrating the 20th anniversary of a block everyone or no one has heard of. This block was PBS Kids Go. That's right, PBS Kids Go. Yeah, yeah. Now, to those who do not know what PBS Kids Go is, let's summarize this anyway. PBS Kids Go it was an educational television brand used by PBS for programs, and it was aimed at grade schoolers and grade elementary students and kids who are too old for standard PBS Kids, i.e. 6 to 12-year-olds, similar to Noggin at the time. This is a defunct educational television brand and for early elementary age children in contrast to the younger preschool target demographic of PBS Kids. Yeah, PBS Kids would still continue to target young children, but it's more aimed at the 3 to 7 crowd. PBS Kids Go will be aimed at the 6 through 12-year-olds. So this is part of an attempt to air to as part of a strategy to split some of PBS Kids programming. Starting in 2004, we get obviously PBS Kids Go, probably and obviously, while there's going to be another PBS Kids block called PBS Kids Preschool block. Yeah. Well, I don't know if this is type of a big concept or is it sorta. I think this probably was an attempt to try and target the N and Noggin actually, so honestly, I believe this was part of a challenge to try and challenge Noggin and the N respectively, but I don't know if this is actually true or not. But anyway, let's dive into this block and what happened to it. Let's find out. Before we talk about PBS Kids Go, we need to talk about its predecessor. What? And what you're asking, and you're probably asking, what predecessor? Well, the 90s. Well, let's go back to the 90s. Now, before PBS Kids Go, there was a programming block on PTV Park, or stylized as PTV. The predecessor of PBS Kids Go was The Game. Ran from October 7th, 1996 to September 6th, 1999. The Game is an afternoon programming segment and that will be airing on participating PBS stations, which aired on PTV which is aimed at grade school or elementary kids who are too old for standard PTV, i.e. 6 to 8 or 6 to 12-year-olds. Shows that aired on The Game included Wishbone and Arthur and the Magic School Bus. However, by September 6th, 1999, The Game was discontinued as September 6th, 1999, this was when PBS Kids underwent a major facelift. When PBS Kids launched on September 6th, 1999, it would continue to inherit much of the content that had aired during The Game afternoon block though, like Wishbone and Arthur. Well, Wishbone on some participating PBS stations though. Oh, now now PBS Kids would get a new afternoon block for the 6 to 11 demographic by 2004. This is where we get to the introduction of PBS Kids Go. During development and launch, upon recognizing that educational programming for elementary age children was lacking, PBS adjusted its mission to include a greater focus on this older subset of viewers. The PBS Kids Go programming block was launched on October 11th, 2004, to coincide with the premiere of The Backyardigans, which debuted on Nick Jr. Yeah, keep in mind that PBS Kids Go launched on the same day The Backyardigans premiered, and that was when Nick Jr. underwent a new rebrand with a new slogan. And alongside with the premiere of brand new shows like Maya and Miguel and Postcards from Buster. Also, part of the block were existing PBS Kids series. Any existing PBS Kids series were moved to the block, like Arthur and Cyber Chase, both of which were already targeting a slightly older audience. So yeah. Now in 2005, if PBS joined with Comcast and other production companies to form a cable channel, PBS Kids Sprout, effectively replacing the 24-hour original PBS Kids channel. This left many local PBS stations with a vacancy on their multicast digital channel offerings during the time when digital and high-definition broadcasts were increasing reach and gaining popularity. In April 2006, PBS announced plans for a replacement 24-hour digital multicast network called the PBS Kids Go channel. This would expand upon the afternoon PBS Kids Go block on PBS, with additional new content and reruns of returning programs. So, upon this and prior to returning programs such as Hit Entertainment's Wishbone, Hit Entertainment owns Wishbone and Kratz Creatures. So with this new channel, Wishbone and Kratz Creatures will be exclusive to the channel. There will be PBS Kids Go programming blocks, such as PBS Kids Vion, Spanish for Go, which will air selected shows in Spanish with English subtitles, such as Rosie's Rules, Workout Wombats, Layla in the Loop, and Maybe Called a Collector, an Evening Go Family block, and an Educational Go Figures School block. The channel was originally set to launch in October 2006, but this did not happen because the stations found that the sliding scale licensing fees were too high for what little exclusive programming they would have received, especially after spending additional funds for the PBS high definition feed. With only 1/3 of PBS stations initially committing to carry the new network, the plans for the channel were ultimately withdrawn. Now the later years, despite the failure to launch the 24-hour PBS Kids Go channel, the afternoon block will continue to air on local PBS stations over the next several years and will continue to expand upon its lineup with new series such as Fetch with Rough Men, Word Girl, the Electric Company reboot, oh my goodness, Wild Kratts, Psy Girls, Fizzy's Lunch Lab, Design Squad, and reruns of Wishbone, which typically aired over the weekend. As online streaming began to increase in popularity, PBS developed the PBS Kids Go video player on its website in 2008. This federally funded and innovative video streaming platform featured video clips from a number of PBS Kids Go shows, which rotated on a weekly basis, and linked to interactive online games. The video player will later evolve into the PBS Kids Video app, which is now the primary source for free streaming of on-demand video clips and full episodes of PBS Kids programming. At this point, PBS later revived the 24/7 PBS Kids Go, the PBS Kids channel, on January 16th, 2017, a little 3 years after the discontinuation of what PBS Kids Go would see. More on that in a moment. This time being structured as a multi-platform service with an online live stream of the channel on the PBS Kids website and video app. In addition to utilize largely the same distribution methods that have been used for the original channel. In 2009, PBS launched the first contest called the PBS Kids Go Writers Contest, the continued annual writing and illustrating competition for children in kindergarten through third grade, which started in 1995 as the Reading Rainbow Young Writers and Illustrators Contest. PBS Kids Go's Writers Contest would later be rebranded as the PBS Kids Writers Contest. On May 15th, 2013, PBS announced at their annual conference that the PBS Kids Go brand would be discontinued in fall 2013, with all PBS Kids Go programming rebranded with an updated universal branding design across of all PBS's children's programming. It was decided that PBS considered the 9-year-long effort to age up its overall audience to be successful, but studies showed that brand recognition was not strongly differentiated from that of PBS Kids, and many shows ended up being successful with broad audiences in both younger and older age groups. The new PBS Kids redesign rebrand was introduced on October 7th, 2013, the day PBS Kids Go died. When Luca was a 2-year-old and Brody and Chase were alive and watched Ni Hao Kai Lan after the premiere of Julius Jr. and before the premiere of Wally Kazam on Nick Jr., coinciding with the debut premiere of Peg plus Cat, at which point PBS Kids Go was officially dissolved. Eric from Medora Entertainment had said that Peg plus Cat was the worst PBS Kids show. Peg plus Cat premiered the same day PBS Kids Go died. What a surprise. At which point, PBS Kids Go was officially dissolved. After the shutdown, all shows that premiered before the launch of the PBS Kids Go block returned to the main PBS Kids block after nearly a decade, and all shows that premiered during the PBS Kids Go block were permanently moved to the main PBS Kids block. However, new episodes would continue. However, PBS Kids programming, which were PBS Kids Go programs, would continue to air new episodes after the closure of PBS Kids Go. Personally, I remember watching a PBS Kids Go bumper after watching Arthur on Demand. Yes, I actually watched Arthur for the first time. And this is one. Not the first time really. When I used to be in public school, I used to be in a classroom near at my old kindergarten school building, like near SEPTA Route 42 and 64 bus lines, where I was in a class as called Room L6, and we and we were watching older VHS tapes of some programs, either it was from PBS and such. And one of the exposures of one of the PBS kids shows I have watched was 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 the Arthur series. I believe one of the episodes I remember watching was Arthur meets a very mean crossing guard, and another episode called the Fire Draw episode. I remember watching it, and as a matter of fact, I seen an Arthur funding where they were funding Libby's Juicy Juice and Chuck E. Cheese's. And they also funded Post Alphabet cereal. Is it? Yeah, Post Alphabet cereal. Oh, maybe it's just me. Yeah, yeah. These were the days. I still cannot believe it. I mean, still can't believe that. I still cannot believe how PBS Kids Go just went away like that. Eric from Adora Entertainment said they had a good reason to kill it. Maybe the block wasn't doing so well in the ratings. Well, he's right. And also PBS's decisions were actually true. October 7th, 2013 would also see the end of PBS Kids preschool block, which is a morning programming block aimed at preschoolers. That block ended on that same day that PBS Kids Go ended, and on the same day that Peg Plus Cat premiered. So at the matter of which, y'all, I just gotta be honest. I just gotta be honest. I just cannot believe that both blocks ended on the same day that the PBS Kids Network block rebranded, actually. Yeah, at this point. Y'all, I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. I miss the good old days of TV entertainment. And now let's talk now for the Achilles heel. The game, the PBS Kids Go, and then afterwards, with the 6 to 11 demographic block ending, which has been killed off, which was PBS Kids Go. And with PBS Kids shortening its block hours on participating PBS affiliates due to focusing more on the PBS Kids website, it's worth noting that they actually gave up on making a great schoolers block at this point. So yeah, knowing PBS, they were trying very hard to try and get to grade schoolers who aren't too old for standard PBS Kids, but at the matter of which, some of them tried their hardest, and they actually did try their best, but nothing seemed to work in the long run. So after discovering what happened to PBS Kids Go thanks to Medora Entertainment, it's clear this wasn't the case, that PBS Kids Go actually died just like that. Seriously? It would have lasted 10 years. But instead, it just went away. It just went away. Even before its 9th anniversary. Not good. Not cool. And you're wondering why this video is short? Well, that's because the history of PBS Kids Go is 2. The Achilles heel and the biggest elephant in the room of the bigger fish of what happened to PBS Kids Go and what about their shows. According to Medora Entertainment, that some of the PBS Kids shows were hideous and terrible. Yes, we still got good PBS Kids shows like Odd Squad, Martha Speaks, Curious George, and the exclusive app show, The Rough Men Show, but then you get to shows that were not great, like Nature Cat, Rage at Go, and Wild Kratts. What next? Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, Pinkalicious and Peterific, and Pet Plus Cat. everything PBS tried to aim at the 6 to 11 demographic has been done very great. However, it just came up short when PBS Kids Go just ended, like just before its freaking anniversary. Now, knowing PBS, they at least they did try their best. PBS Kids Go, then again, its running time was aimed at the 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, it's a 2 to 3 hour block though. Yeah, I just couldn't believe that PBS actually had the encouragement to just discontinue their grade schoolers block after finding out it was unsuccessful. Maybe they could have refigurated the block with some fresh programming, even some new branding too. But instead, they had to let it die and stagnate until its death. And that breaks my heart. But this wouldn't stop PBS Kids from trying to aim to the 6 to 11 demographic and the grade schoolers demographic, though. Despite PBS Kids Go no longer existing at this point, what next? What will happen next? Well, PBS Kids is already getting some programming in where everybody said they might be good or bad. Honestly, basically, we had three blocks we had three brands that gave up with the grade schoolers and preteen age demographic, or the 6 to 11 demographic. I mean, let's talk about the history about how. Let's look at the history about what happened to the networks that gave up with the older children's demographic. First, it was Noggin, then HBO Family's Magnet, and finally we got PBS Kids, where PBS Kids Go. It seems like they all tried very hard to try and get to the preteens and older children, though. But nah, none of them didn't go well. Failed like it is. Y'all, I gotta be honest. This is just as bad. This is just as bad as how. This is just as bad as this can get. I'm gonna have to start the preteen burnout pile, where brands that gave up on preteen content and older children's content to later shift their programming to preschoolers, or just get burned or killed out entirely. I mean it. Happy 20th anniversary, PBS Kids Go. Happy soon-to-be 20th anniversary, PBS Kids Go. Because your 20th birthday is tomorrow, and I would just like to say, hey, you may not be perfect, but it'll give everyone, including 2000s kids, adolescents, and alike, and memories that will live on forever. Thank you guys all sincerely for watching. See you next time.